Cyberpunk Edgerunners is released on Netflix, and while it seems like a cash grab anime like all the others, it has been widely liked by everyone for a good reason. The characters and the world are so well done that every part of the anime hides a secret meaning, an extensive allegory of our world. And when I watched Cyberpunk Edgerunners, I've noticed something that I can't brush it off easily, and I want to share it with you. In the beginning of the anime, our protagonist, David, is a person who faces the worst of society at a young age. The world of Night City is one of extensive dehumanization. His low economic status brings constant suffering. Money doesn't only control the quality of life, but it literally controls his physical and mental capabilities, as everyone in Night City is dependent by automated machines and AIs. Machine upgrades require money to improve someone's life and skills. And those who are wealthy are more upgraded than the ones who are either forced to stay inferior than all the others or find loopholes to upgrade in a dangerous and illegal way to meet the same level as the wealthy ones. Friends and relatives replace their nature-given lips, eyes, and faces with metal. A lot of them change dramatically, like David, who at one point of the series has so much metal in him, he changes so much that he becomes from this innocent kid that we know to a full cold-blooded killer. People are staying in dark rooms to upgrade themselves. They lose themselves in the process, which in turn they develop sadistic and depressive tendencies. Poor people are doomed to forget themselves just to live as human beings. But the world of Cyberpunk isn't different from ours. Now that I've finished the general story of the series, how many similarities do you recognize that are similar to our world? Cyberpunk's world is just an exaggerated, more direct version to the problems of today, but the situation and sacrifices the characters must take are similar to ours. They are just presented in a futuristic neon murdery kind of way. Paramedics don't save David's mom because she doesn't have insurance, just like in real life hospitals where the rich have more possibilities to survive than the ones who are abandoned to suffer and get kicked out from hospitals. Those who are wealthy have more machine upgrades than the poor, just like in real life where rich kids have more chance to quote-unquote upgrade in their lives by going to better schools, living in better environments, having better nutrition. Meanwhile, the poor have to force upgrades into themselves, aka find cheaper alternative loopholes to reach their level. There are many similarities, and the one who gathers the most attention in me is Cyberpsychosis. A condition that affects our characters is none other more than an allegory of our modern day anomaly. People in the world of Cyberpunk are forced to survive by criminal activity, which requires full abilities and strength. People lose themselves as they are more ingrained in metal. Cyberpunk's world is dependent on metal, as we are dependent on technology to survive. Some of us begin to isolate ourselves, lose our empathy for others, and undergo dramatic mood swings that exhibit depressive tendencies. We get so affected by our environment, and we become so desensitized by the negative aspect of our dependencies that we lose control. Night City is such a dystopian hellhole that its residents become so used to human suffering that they go insane. So much so that you could argue if cyberpsychosis even exists really. We too get dependent on the internet because our realities are too dense or too depressing. We isolate ourselves in dark rooms just as the characters. We lose our empathy for others when we get upgraded. Our difference with the society of Night City is that our upgrade is of the mental state. The Cyberpunks is more of a physical one. We quote-unquote upgrade by learning the abundant knowledge of the internet, but our mind can't handle it. Any person wired into this unnatural but intriguing technology can lose themselves if they go too far. Anyone who becomes a slave to their weakness will force a change into themselves that our primitive brain can't handle. The most frightening component to all this cyberpsychosis, however, is that most will never be diagnosed. Not all cyberpsychos are known war veterans or former mercenaries equipped with Sadavistan. Not all will go out in a blaze of gunfire with max stack. Many cyberpsychos in Night City possess only a single implant, a knee, a liver. They are unseen, unnoticed. People in our era who are chronically online and addicted to social media, video games, or the internet in general are tragically losing themselves, spending their lives on a screen, an internet forum, a Reddit thread, a Twitter drama, a video game who wants them to grind to level up. They both lock themselves up and shut out their friends, colleagues, and loved ones. The world outside of the net has disappeared from conscious thought. They are sick and alone, and no one is doing a thing about it. They don't realize how much dangerous these things are, because they are both so usual. How many differences are there with our modern generation that is always online? Cyberpsychosis is a brutal interpretation of a current problem. People who constantly seek the will to upgrade from the current lives as the best version of themselves and use an unnatural method to do it. Those who do it always lose the control, because the feeling of upgrading into something more is intoxicating. After all, in the end, they all lose themselves the same. I think that cyberpsychosis is a big take on what our generation faces. Complete dependence from electronics. As the characters are dependent from machines that enter their body, we are dependent from machines that enter our mind. Anyways, I'ma stop the video here, cause I'm getting kinda edgy in here, you know what I'm saying? I'm very close to making an overly hateful specific TikTok about women. I want to have a chance to talk about, how Cyberpunk Edgerunners' biggest feat in the series is not only the cyberpsychosis, but also like the ability to depict the psychological consequences of its characters without feeling inauthentic. David loses himself the more he continues. He becomes troubled by how easy it is for him to kill people, a narrative that is quite lost within of a video game in first person, in which the body count remains just a number, one that ironically itself adds to the cheapness of the life that it portrays. That's how good of an anime this is. It's amazing. Like, the series have been so successful that people have been returning to play Cyberpunk again. I mean, I'm thinking of buying Cyberpunk, and I just shitted on Cyberpunk in the past year, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, see ya, love ya.